In a previous video we saw how to build this farm, which gives us bone meal. Its main function is to grow things, it was fertilizer. So now we will see how to build 7 microfarms that use bone meal. Farm number 1 is the 2-block high flower farm. It simply consists of a dispenser facing the flower, over it an observer facing down, then over it we place a piece of redstone with a lever on the side. So when we flick the lever we can see the dispenser feeding the bone meal into the flower, and we see copies of the flower dropping off at quite a fast speed. And if you do the experiment you will see that the 9 stacks of bone meal you can hold is being dumped in only 1 minute and 56 seconds. And this is the result. So this farm empties the 9 stacks of bone meal and produces 9 stacks of the flour. And if we continue with this, its projection towards 20 minutes will be 5,958 flowers and bone meal. And of course this farm can be used with the other 2-block high flowers. That will be the peony, the sunflower, the lilac and the rosebush. And as you see here, we can chain together a lot of these farms. Farm number 2 is the crops farm. You can see here these 4 dispensers facing inward, fed up by this redstone line. Over one of them is this observer facing down with a lever, and this normal piston over here blocking all the light on this central block over here. So we just have to come here with the crop we want to reproduce on this corner and then flick the lever. With the crop on the hand, we just face downward over here towards the farmland and right click constantly. We're going to see that each time the piston expands, it's going to let light come in, but when it contracts it's going to make shadow again. And that darkness is the thing that is going to break the crops. So we just need this farmland, a block of water. We place a full block here, and then place the 4 dispensers facing this central block over here, just over the farmland. Over this dispenser we're going to place the absorber, then these 2 blocks, then these blocks over these corners, then the line of redstone, the piston facing this way, then a lever. And there, we just come with the crop we want to reproduce, then flick the lever and start farming. And these are the results for each of the crops in a 2-minute test. As for the wheat, you can see we produce 519 seeds and only 294 wheat, spent 695 bone meal. For carrots, we produce 809 and spend 704 bone meal. For potatoes, we produce 801, produce 4 venomous 1, and spend 730 bone meal. For beetroot, we produce 181, 498 seeds, and spent 1181 bone meal. As you can see, it is not very effective. This seems to be very good for carrots and potatoes. Wheat, not so much, but the worst crop is probably beetroot. Of course the traditional way is to plant them in these fields, but now we have this small option which is more compact, of course considering if you have enough bone meal. I also recommend to make this setup where we can compost all the seeds we produce with this process. The third farm is the glowing berries. We have this setup again with this platform where the berries can hang, then the dispenser, the absorber, redstone and the lever. So we turn it on, just constantly right click over here and we're going to see the berries drop off. So we press F3 plus T and we can have our hands free of the keyboard. As well as the previous farm, we can spend all this bone meal in 1 minute and 56 seconds. And the result is this one. We spent 9 stacks of bone meal, but produced 9 stacks of glowing berries. For 20 minutes, you can see the next table. Cocoa beans. So we have these pistons facing over here. One of them has the absorber, then the redstone line all over here. And if we come over here, we can see these 2 blocks with our jungle locks, with these pistons facing on these ways. So what you're going to see is the positions switching from one place to another, breaking the cocoa beans. So we just take the beans over here, flick the lever, and constantly right click over here. If it doesn't work the first time, we just click again and you can continue. The 2-minute test results are the next ones. As you can see, we spent 676 bone meal, but produced 676 cacao beans. The 20-minute projection is shown on the table. Farm number 5, our hanging roots farm. So here we have this rooted dirt block, the dispenser facing the dirt, then the observer facing down, the lever and the redstone. We will need a tool. Shears with unbreaking, mending and efficiency. We flick the lever, and with the shears, we left clicked the roots, then we produced them very fast. And again we did a test, wasting all the bone meal, which is 576, producing 576 roots, and we do it in 1 minute and 56 seconds. Leaving the shears durability with 85 out of 238. We can also make this setup that you see here with 5 dispensers on a row, which is the reach of our shears, with 1 observer and only a redstone line over here. So we just flick the lever, we step over here and start left clicking. You're going to see we just farm all the 5 blocks. So these are the results, which in this case, the maximum quantity we can produce before the shears break is 964, and this happens about 44 seconds in. Farm number 6 is the lichen farm. We have this block, the dispenser, we just place the button so the lichen doesn't spread, and an observer clock. So we just place ourselves here, we flick the lever, and with the shears facing on this direction, we start left clicking. After 1 minute and 50 seconds, the results are the next. Very alike the previous farms, and the durability of the shears is 85. Of course we can have this setup over here, like for dispensers. Over the platform we have the redstone line, 1 observer, and we just have these blocks over here. We just need 1 wall in order to align ourselves over here, in this position. So we come here, flick the lever, and start left clicking with our shears, breaking the lichens. With 4 dispensers, of course we have these results, 956, and this is what happens in 48 seconds until the shears break. Seventh and last farm is the dribbly farm, where we see the central block of dirt, then we have this setup where we have a lever, a piston, a sticky piston, 2 observers facing each other, then we're going to see this block over here with a redstone dust. So we have here 2 dispensers with bone meal. Over here we're going to place a piston with a block, redstone dust, and observer here. Each time the drip leaf grows over here and is going to detect it. Then constantly right clicking against this glass, we're going to place the drip leaf and it's going to start to grow. And the results are the next. This is a 2-minute test, and we have generated 808 drip leaf, spending 808 bone meal. The 20-minute projection is shown on the table. So tell me if you're willing to build these 7 microfarms that spend bone meal, or is it better to produce all these products with great plantation fields? This has been Big Brother 161, and remember, I will be watching.